Okay, we're good?
We're good.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. If you happen to be watching this or listening to this in the morning, it's your boys, Krohner and The Don, here with another episode. I do want to apologize for anyone who's been keeping up with us. We kind of had some technical difficulties that prevented us from releasing our last episode about dadisms on schedule. Hopefully, you're listening to this on May 15th, which means that we are back on schedule. And if you happen to miss the dadisms episode, it was released on the 12th or the 13th. I can't remember.
I think it was the 13th. Yeah, today at 10
Yeah,
a.m.
it was today, but it was a good one. It's absolutely good. It's very relatable. If you have a dad, we love that. Or if
Oh
you
yeah.
have, or if you have friends with dads that act as typical dads, so that's a good one. But today we're not here to talk about that. Today, I wanted to do a deep dive. If anyone is like familiar with social media and is on it in even the slightest, then you've probably seen the beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, and I think to some extent J. Cole, but I believe he hopped off when he realized that the pan was getting a little bit too hot.
Oh yeah, 100%. He made the smart move and decided to hop off of that real quick. I actually do have the timeline here pulled up, and people would say that the Drake and Kendrick beef has gone on like for a long ass time, but we're not gonna, you know, phase it all the way back to like when there was like little pangs here and there. We're gonna start where it really started to roll, which is going to be October of 2023, whenever J. Cole got featured on Drake's album For All the Dogs on track 6, where he said the controversial line, "Love when they argue the hardest MC. Is it K Dot? Is it Aubrey or me? We the big three like we started a league, but right now I feel like Muhammad Ali." And that's where J. Cole falls into all of this, because Drake didn't really say anything up until that point, and J. Cole was the one who you know, put the straw on that broke the camel's back, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that I'm sure he dropped that, and Drake was like, "Yo, why'd you say that?"
Oh, dude, and it rolled because March 22nd, 2024, which was released buh, 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 buh. Future and Metro Boomin released their album We Don't Trust You, and on one of the tracks of the song Like That, Kendrick had a feature, and he said, "Motherfuck the big three, redacted, it's just big me." And fuck sneak dissin, first person shooter, I hope they came with 3 switches.
Hmm.
Which is definitely a shot at J. Cole and Drake, for not only Drake releasing that track on For All the Dogs, but for J. Cole doing a little sneak diss.
Yeah, he snuck that in there a little bit, but anybody can analyze that and see what happened with that. Oh man, there's so many freaking layers to this, and I love it. I didn't really even know that this was all going on. Because I'm not super into rap. I really could care less about Drake. Like I love Kendrick, but I've never taken the time to really delve into this. But the thing is that like after like that dropped, I mean, it blew up, and it became so like focused in the public eye that it's almost hard to ignore it. I mean, it's all over social media, it's all over TikTok, and the fact that, I mean, these guys are like, they're actively beefing in that they are releasing songs back to back to back about each other.
Oh
Absolutely
yeah,
wild.
it's been absolutely fucking insane. Because I mean, the heat was a slow burn. Drake tried to Drake tried to hold up. Sorry. Drake tried to fucking put fire on the flames, but according I can't remember where I read it, but apparently Kendrick held off on like doing his diss tracks so he wouldn't interfere with Taylor Swift's newest album release.
Wait,
Which
hold on. Run that back by me one more time.
Kendrick waited to drop diss tracks um, because it would interfere with Taylor Swift's newest album release.
Well, that's kind of cool, I guess.
It is cool because I mean, like, the Taylor Swift, like her or hate her, she's like a generational artist. And the thing with it, right, is no matter how big of an artist you are, this beef was just so like heated and massive, especially with Drake being involved, that it would have knocked anything she had off the top of the charts. And it did. It did whenever Kendrick finally dropped all his tracks.
Hmm.
At least on the Apple Music charts.
Oh man,
So
this is wild.
it is. It's crazy. So like to push that forward, right? A few weeks after Kendrick's verse on Like That, on April 19th, 2024, Drake dropped the diss track Push Ups, where he dissed Kendrick, Metro Boomin, Future, and a couple others. I think I can't remember who it was. Uh and then he dropped right after that Tailor Made Freestyle, which was controversial because he used AI voices of Tupac and Snoop Dogg.
That's so nuts to me. Like the fact that you're like, you know what? Tupac is like one of the biggest names in rap. I'm gonna fucking plagiarize him, or
Dude, it's
like use his likeness, um, post mortem. Like That's so wild to me that somebody was even there's no freaking way that somebody on Drake's inner circle or whatever was just like, you know what, man, that's a good idea. We should do that. Are you nuts?
yeah, no, it's absolutely fucking insane to the point where Tupac's estate fucking threatened to sue Drake over the track, which forced him to take it down. And I think it was a track that was only released on social media. Um, and he dissed Kendrick and I was right about the Taylor Swift thing on Taylor Made Freestyle. He dissed Kendrick for not dropping his diss tracks yet to not interfere with Taylor Swift's album.
Yeah, an excerpt that I'm looking at is now we got to wait a fucking week because Taylor Swift is your new top, and if you about to drop, she's got to approve.
It's
And
fucked up.
it's called being a little a little respectful. Like, I mean, I don't even care about Taylor's music that much, but that's really cool because I believe oh, here we go. I also pulled up a little analyzation of push ups and what was it? Drake also went after Lamar's work on pop songs from the likes of Maroon 5 and Taylor Swift, as well as throwing a stray dig at Rick Ross with the lyric, I might take your latest girl and cuff her like I'm Ricky. Can't believe he jumping in this redacted, turning 50. Every song that made it on the chart, he got it from Drizzy.
Man.
Uh, and then Rick Ross fired back with accusing Drake of getting plastic surgery. Um, I believe that's where that lovely track BBL Drizzy by Metro Boomin came around. That's not even on this timeline, weirdly enough, but I think it's important.
I think I have it on my timeline that's pulled up, which
Man,
after Taylor Made Freestyle, this isn't on my timeline, but Kanye intervened, right? Here, let me pull this up real quick.
yeah, I didn't even know Yeezy got in on this.
Yeah, no. Um, so Yeezy got in, and his opening to the song was, we had to get the hooligans up here. We gonna take this pussy redacted out. Yo, Dot, I got you. Um,
Hey.
so he dropped a Like That remix. So he like interjected himself within the beef, and it went absolutely nowhere. But it just added to like the bout of people who are backing Kendrick within this at this point, because I mean we know that Drake and Kanye have had beef, like solid beef too in the past. Um, it was around the time where Donda and Certified Lover Boy released, and I believe it was within like the same month. And we all know who won that little bout, like who had the better album. It was definitely Kanye.
Yeah, there's no chance. What was it? I believe I remember when that dropped, and I think there's a YouTuber called Academics, if I remember correctly, um, who was like very very excited for Certified Lover Boy to come out because he's a Drake stan, and yeah, if I remember correctly, he fell asleep while he was streaming and listening to the album.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That shit was so funny.
That's that's really fucking funny. Like they were like entirely missed with this one so much that his own fans were like snoozing. And man, you love to see stuff like that. You really do. I'm glad Kanye hopped in on this. I almost forgive him for the anti-Semitic shit.
Dude, I mean,
But anyway.
like, it's because he loves Jonah Hill, I think it was.
Mm.
But
Uh,
because you haven't heard it, would you like to hear the Kanye chorus on the track?
are we allowed to do that?
It's not something that he has released. Actually, that's a good point because I mean, I can't imagine we wouldn't be allowed to because we're not monetizing this.
Yeah, no,
Um,
that's true. We're not, but at the same time, I've always been so nervous about like fair use, public domain type stuff. I never want to be caught with my pants down where I'm like, "Oh shit, I didn't know that I could do that." Like, please don't sue me or something. I can't handle that. I'm too sensitive for the big house. Oh
it might be a Sony thing, so you know what? Let's not play it. But
yeah, I don't want to fuck with Sony.
it was Kanye and Ty Dolla Sign. I think this was going to be like,
Oh.
on Vultures 2, if my memory serves me correctly.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, we won't mess with that. But leading off of that, right? This is around the time Kendrick dropped Euphoria. April 30th, 2024. Took a day to respond.
Oh, wait, did Taylor Made freestyle?
Yeah, and
That's
push-ups. Or
uh
sorry, no, that's 10 days later.
yeah, no,
Ugh.
Taylor Made freestyle was April 19th. So it took Kendrick all of 11 days to start the grill, to marinate Drake and then just slap him on there and cook his ass.
The way I think it was largely interpreted when Euphoria was dropped, it was a warning, right? It was just straight up a warning. And
Yeah.
we gonna play this track? We want to start here with playing tracks and like dissecting them a little bit.
Yes, yeah, we can. One little tidbit that actually I didn't know about until I'm reading this here. You can find a timeline of the beef for yourself, either through Aiden Source somewhere on TikTok, or you can. I found one on Vulture.com. Drake Kendrick Lamar feud explained, and I didn't know that the HBO series starring Zendaya, Euphoria, was produced by Drake.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
And that kind of correlates to like what Kendrick is saying within this track. Like, it's crazy. We just got to get into it. And of course,
Yeah.
I'll pause and play it as we're moving forward. I've got the lyrics pulled up as well.
Okay. Yeah. Are you on Genius as well?
Yes, I am.
Gotta love it. God bless Genius.com.
Yeah, for real.
Paranoid and now
Okay.
spiraling. You're moving just like a degenerate.
Oh,
Heavy
Uh,
okay.
that's not the beginning.
No, it is not. It's because I've been playing this shit.
Woo, shit, my man said Euphoria.
So that start, right? If you look at I'm waiting for my little fucking play pause tab, but it says everything they say about me is true backwards.
Mm. And that is Richard Pryor's part as the wizard. in The Wiz, which was a
Ooh,
remake of The Wizard of Oz. Came out in 1978.
kind of nutty. Okay, to continue.
Them superpowers get neutralized. I can only watch in silence. The famous actor we once knew is looking paranoid and now spiraling. You're moving just like a degenerate. Every antic is feeling distasteful. Why calculate? You're not as calculated. I can even predict your angles. Fabricating stories on the family front, cause you heard Mr. Morale. A pathetic master manipulator. I can smell the tails on you now.
So to like put a pause there, right? Like, of course, I'm pretty sure in that he's referring to the fact that that Drake is like all that, right? And Drake thinks
Mm.
he's all that. But like this is something that's like humbling him and making people realize that he isn't all that. But on top of that, right? Have you listened to Mr. Morale album that Kendrick released?
I want to say yeah. Isn't that the Mr. Morale, not Oris? That's Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Uh, why can't I type with one hand? Um. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I was blanking on the name of this album, but no, I like this one.
Yeah, it's really good, but as you're aware, and anyone who listened to the album is, it definitely alluded a lot to like family violence and the way that it can affect you like growing up.
Yeah, Purple Hearts was a good track, and 95 was a really good track too.
Oh yeah. It was just through and through very solid. Um
I mean, it's Kendrick Lamar. What'd you expect?
Facts. All right, let's continue.
You're not a rap artist, you a scam artist with the hopes of being accepted. Tommy Hilfiger stood out, but FUBU never had been your collection. I make music that electrify 'em, you make music that pacify 'em. I can double down on that line, but spare you this time. That's random acts of kindness. Know you're a master manipulator and habitual liar too. But don't tell no lie about me, and I won't tell truths about you.
Mm,
That's fucking hard. Honestly, that's an insane way to start it. And that's where I feel like, it gets kind of like that warning type of vibe, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly. He's basically saying like, don't make up stuff about me, for the sake of creating content, and in turn, I won't just completely lay you out flat for everyone to see.
It was so beautiful watching Drake get torn asunder. But
It was. I'm super, super not a huge fan of Drake. There's like, if we're speaking strictly musically, maybe two or three songs out of the guy's entire discography that I really enjoy. One of them being Hotline Bling. But as far as like not having the ability to separate music from the artist, I could do without Drizzy.
yeah, no. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you look at Genius, right? The line, I make music that electrify him, you make music that pacify him. Um, it says, and I quote, the majority of Kendrick's discography has been devoted to activism and creating change. He draws that distinction between his and Drake's music by highlighting the frequent criticisms of Drake's content, right? Being meaningless or repetitive. So, like, selling into the industry, and, they get into this later, but he calls him a pop artist, not a rapper. Which
Yeah.
honestly I feel like is very true because he doesn't make like, content that's based around a story, which is I'm pretty sure the entire premise of like rap. But he makes shit that's supposed to be like bumped in a club.
Yeah. No, I think that that's an accurate statement, is that like just because he happens to be uh I don't know, assigning a particular cadence or something, or it's over a particular kind of beat, I don't think that necessarily makes you a rapper. I think that like the fact that a lot of his music is, and we'll get further into the issues with it, but you're right here on face value. I would say that yeah, like you expect to hear Drake everywhere, and you really do. I mean, you and I know very personally that
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Drake is stupid popular and can't really figure out why. Whereas like every time that I'm listening to Kendrick, I'm like, it's invoking some sort of feeling. I feel like that's what meaningful music is supposed to do in the first place.
Exactly. I mean, that man didn't win a Pulitzer Prize for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That is for sure.
Sorry, I had to hit the Baja Blast.
I'm a little jealous. I want some Baja.
I think another interesting point about that little excerpt there that Genius brings up is pacify is also likely a double entendre, referencing the image of a baby pacifier. Very like pacify can mean a couple of different things, I guess. In this instance, and this could be. I don't want to say that it is necessarily, but it's incredibly likely that this is a direct diss at Drake's target listening audience being immature, being that he makes music for minors.
hmm Oh, and that ties in.
Oh
But
man.
let us continue.
Shoo, 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 shoo. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, I'm out the way, yeah, I'm low, okay. Yeah, the island right here is remote, okay. I ain't thinking about no reaper, nigga, I'm reaping what I sow, okay. Got a Benjamin and a Jackson all in my house, like I'm Joe, okay. Hellcat, met his homeboys in them types LA solo, okay. Everybody wanna be demon till they get chipped by your throwaway. And I might do a show a day. Once a lame, always a lame. Oh, you thought the money, the power of fame will make you go away. Have you ever played? Have you ever? Okay, nigga, let's play. Have you ever walked your enemy down like with a poker face? Have you ever paid 500,000 like to an open case? Well, I have, and I failed at both, but I came out straight. I hate when I rap or talk about guns, then somebody die, they turn into nuns, then I hop online like pray for my city. He faking for likes and digital hugs. His daddy a killer, he wanna be Junior. They must have forgot the shit that they done. Dementia must run in his family, but let it get shaky.
Good lord.
Hmm.
From my best recollection, the entire like front half of that verse is him just straight making fun of Drake. Him thinking that like, the fame and the fortune that he has makes him like almost untouchable. To an extent where he can even pretend to care about certain things that like Kendrick raps about, but it's for digital clout versus where Kendrick actually plays into activism.
Hmm. Let's
And
see here.
I also think it will tie directly into some of the lyrics of Not Like Us down the line with some of the accusations that Kendrick drops. Like, you can't beat this case even if you tried. You ain't got that power.
Hmm. Let's see here. They're trying to analyze a couple of these here. Hmm. Something going further into the hypocrisy side of it. This one kind of stood out to me. I hate when a rapper talk about guns and somebody die, they turn into nuns, then hop online, like pray for my city. He fake him for likes and digital hugs. So I looked at that, and apparently Drake appeared in a Canadian gun violence and homicide awareness campaign in 2019 called "Remember Me, Toronto," which is like it's a little funny because not only can it be seen as just like doing something for clout, but I think it's because a lot of Drake's music is about like, yeah, I shoot people, sure, whatever. Not that anybody should be, of course, but that it's just kind of it comes across in almost like a glorifying sort of sense, and yet when it comes to doing some real stuff, like he wants to do real stuff, but I think that was also sort of just a clout move. So
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
like he'll just say like whatever, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I pray to God, or sorry, this one is from uh let's hear one recent example of Drake of Draken, Dr. Draken from Kim Possible. One recent example of Drake rapping about guns, which may have promoted these lines, appeared on this April 2024 diss track, Push Ups. Like your label boy, you in a scope now. And these lines also call back to similar ones from Rich Spirit on May 2022's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, where Lamar offers a broader critique of virtual signaling, where he says, I pray to God you actually pray when somebody dies. Thoughts and prayers way better off timelines. And both lines call attention to the desire to capitalize on tragic events for personal gain, um, which is behavior that attempts to cultivate an image of empathy that is ultimately insincere. Yeah.
Another dude, yeah, no, another big one too, right? Is his daddy a killer? He wannabe junior. They must have forgot that the shit that they done. Um, he's referring to Birdman, who signed Drake under Cash Money Records. He also calls Drake out for wanting to portray himself as a gangster and wanting to be a junior like Lil Wayne.
Mm.
But apparently this also alludes to the fact that Drake had ties to Jay Prince, who's a Texas hip hop star, and that's his quote unquote mob ties. Which they say that because it has been alluded a lot of like hip hop related deaths are correlated to Jay Prince and the gang that he runs.
Mm. I'm unfamiliar with Jay Prince. I didn't. I'm learning a lot in this as well. This is
Me too.
it's very educational. Um, so it kind of looks like Drake wants to be like tied to all these people so he can gain the fear and respect, but it's like you don't actually like do that.
You're not hard.
Yeah.
You're not slime.
He's not slime. Oh man. Um.
All right. We're going to keep this going.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I park your son. The very first time I shot me a Drake, the homie had told me to aim it this way. I didn't point down enough. Today I show you I learned from those mistakes. Somebody had told me that you got a ring. On God, I'm ready to double the wage. I'd rather do that than let a Canadian nickel make Pac turn in his grave. Cut the business, you got shit twisted.
Also, that line right there completely alludes to the fact that Drake used Tupac's AI voice in tailor-made freestyle.
What is it, the brakes? I hurt your feelings, you don't work with me no more. Okay, there's 3 ghosts left, and I see 2 of them kissing and hugging on stage.
Ooh, yeah, that one. That's rough. So that's like a reference to, hey, J. Cole, I didn't forgot about you. This is mostly about Drake, but I didn't forget you did that.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think was it before or after Euphoria dropped that J. Cole apologized?
Let's see here. A quick little Google search. When did J. Cole apologize? Which is such a bummer because like I like J. Cole too.
J. Cole is right to stay in his own bag with this one.
Yeah, like let's let's not, because you can't, like J. Cole's a great rapper and everything, but I think that it wouldn't be, and we're clearly finding this out now, is that it's probably not a good idea to step to Kendrick like that.
Don't fuck with K-Dot. For real.
Exactly. Let's see here. Well, it says I'm seeing a lot of articles from April 8th saying that okay, the rapper J. Cole apologized on Sunday. So the Sunday before April 8th, which would have been April 7th.
Okay, so
So
that was well before Euphoria, so it's definitely a I ain't forgot type thing.
yeah, it's like an I've got my eye on you kind of thing.
Good lord. Crazy line though, he ain't forgot.
Yeah,
most definitely not.
I love her to death, and in 8 bars I'll explain that phrase. It's nothing nobody can tell me. I don't wanna talk on no celly. You know I got language barriers. It's no accent you can sell me. You're Cole and Ivory know I'm a selfish nigga. The crown is heavy. I pray they my real friends. If not, I'm YNW Melly.
Jesus. You know what YNW Melly did?
I think that you told me that. It's also up here on Genius. So, in 2019, YNW Melly was charged with the double murder of 2 fellow rappers closely affiliated with his music collective, uh, Young N-Word World. Kendrick implies that he's capable of the same if he believes his contemporaries, Drake and J. Cole, are untrustworthy, although it's important to note that Melly's case was ultimately deemed a mistrial in July 2023. Um, Melly had also responded to this after shortly after Euphoria dropped. He said, "Kendrick Lamar is one of my favorite rappers, so I feel honored and appalled. I'm a household name just for the wrong shit."
I mean, that's fair. Like, I feel like as a outside, unless you're like tied really deep into the culture of like, southeastern rap, because I'm pretty sure YNW Melly hails from like Florida. Um,
Mm.
I could be wrong about that, but while you look that up, yeah, no, like his trial was huge because it was one of the first trials that tried to see if you could use like rap lyrics as a means of like prosecuting someone under a court of law.
It's kind of funny in retrospect. Where this is about, like Drake not being, like being as gangster as like his lyrics say that he is. And it's like, well, if that were the case, that would be a pretty good reason to use lyrics as hard evidence. So that brings up an interesting point of, I mean, is this just all for entertainment or what?
I think Drake and J. Cole started it as like an entertainment thing, like, sneak this in here and there. Kendrick was like, fuck around, find out, and proceeded to murder Drake in cold blood with his words.
Mm, yeah, that's true. Okay, YNW Melly is from Gifford, Florida.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no. So that was like, southeastern culture type shit. I wasn't even aware of who he was up
Hmm.
until that trial became like publicized.
His last name is also Demons. That's kind of cool.
That is pretty cool.
It goes pretty hard. So we love that for him. He's like, I'm glad that people are talking about me. I just wish you wouldn't say that. Oh, jeez.
Oh man. Okay, let's continue.
I don't like you popping shit at Pharrell. For him, I inherit the beef. Yeah, fuck all that pushing P. Let me see you push a T. You better off spinning again on him. You think about pushing me. He's
Mm.
That
So,
alludes to the fact that Drake dissed Pharrell and Meat Ride's Pusha T. I'm pretty sure.
yeah. Do we stand for L. Williams? I mean, Happy was great. I ain't gonna lie, all that. But this is I haven't actually looked back into this for a while, so I'm not sure if it's confirmed or not. But wasn't it wasn't it said that Pharrell Williams was kind of into like Lolita stuff, where it's like just anime like charged by like young looking girls.
I don't know. Ew.
I feel like I saw that somewhere, and I was like, it's kind of weird.
That is pretty weird.
Yeah, but no,
Ew.
as far as being a musician goes, and I guess like the shit that I would know about him, um, yeah, I wouldn't really care for all that. Okay, so let's see here, and that was from the July 2023 track. It was Drake was a feature. The song was Travis Scott's. It was Meltdown. And Drake said, "Man, fuck all that spinning the narrative shit. I melt down the chains that I bought from your boss. Give a fuck about all that heritage shit. Since V not around, the members done hung up the Louis. They not even wearing that shit." Um, and that was just 4 months after Pharrell became the men's creative director for Louis Vuitton. And good for Pharrell. That sounds good, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. That, and I'd be lying if I said Pharrell didn't make some good tracks, like, as a producer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, dude's got it going on. Never mind the weird shit. That's not what this is about. But okay, well, that's cool. So Kendrick rides for Pharrell. And Push and P, is that a
Oh,
shot at a man? Who am I thinking of?
oh, so this is he wasn't collaborating with Pusha T. What happened was it alludes to the fact that he's in good with Gunna. Um,
Oh yeah.
but he dissed Pusha T. And then after years of subliminal jabs, um, he famously exposed in the song the story of Adidon, where he had he secretly had a child with a porn star. Which is I believe Adonis.
Yeah. His son's name is Adonis, and Pusha T said, in what song is this from? Um, hmm.
I want to say that this entire bar, yeah, fuck all that pushing P. Let me see you push a T. You better off spinning again on him. You think about pushing me. I think that ends up being a entendre of sorts, just because of how much it correlates to. Because it refers to I think it might be a. Let me look at this. It refers to the beef that he had with Pusha T. It refers to the phrase "pushing P" that was popularized by Gunna, where Drake used it in one of his songs, and also refers to P being a nickname that Pharrell Williams uses. So I think that's a triple entendre.
Yeah,
Which is
there's a lot going on there.
That's pretty fucking insane.
Well, I'd like it also to be noted that in Pusha T's track, as you say, Adonis is your son. He deserves more than an Adidas press run, which I think it was something earlier. I think I saw, uh, where yeah, like I believe that did Drake like announce that he had a child around the same time they were also doing a some sort of Adidas promo thing.
Good
Really,
lord. Okay, let's keep this moving.
yeah. If we do all these, we got a lot to go through.
Oh yeah, it would take like a whole episode per track.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I
Let us
mean, me
know.
too.
Let us know on X if you just want us to do deep dives of every diss track.
So we'll try to run through all of them today because like fuck, but if we do all three, man. I'll also drop a Q&A down at the bottom of it too on Spotify. Let us know.
Oh, there's 4.
Let's continue.
Terrence Thornton, I'm Terrence Crawford, yeah, I'm whooping feet. We ain't gotta get personal, this a friendly fade, you should keep it that way. I know some shit about niggas that make gonna wanna look like a saint. This ain't been about critics, not about gimmicks, not about who the greatest. It's always been about love and hate. Now let me say I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress, I hate the way that you sneak this. If I catch flight, it's gonna be direct. We hate the bitches you fuck, cause they confuse themselves with real women. Then notice I said we, it's not just me, I'm what the culture feeling. How many more fairy tale stories about your life till we had enough? How many more black features till you finally feel that you're black enough? I like Drake with the melodies, I don't like Drake when he act tough. You gon' make a nigga bring back Puff. Let me see if Chubbs really crashed something. Yeah.
Crazy verse right there.
Yeah, that was
Well.
that was a lot to go in there. So yeah, he refers back to Gunna once again. And was it so Gunna Wanna is apparently a nickname for Gunna. I didn't know that was a thing. But Kendrick uses Gunna's reputation as a snitch in the YSL Rico case to imply that Drake has snitched in the past. Damn.
Yeah, that one's crazy. And I love how it just led into I'm the biggest hater. And my two biggest things with that bit is like where it says here with this line, you know, we hate the bitches you fuck because they confuse themselves with real women. It almost alludes to like Drake, you know, being a pedophile, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the second interpretation is that he only gets with porn stars and Instagram models.
There's, I feel some kind of way about that in that, well, so I mean, the first interpretation talking about, let's see your Drake's questionable relationships with underage girls, not yet real women. But the most notable recent example of this was Millie Bobby Brown. Man, I butchered that. Millie Bobby Brown, Which yeah, I think that one was really where I started to look at it, and I was like, hold on, you're what late? He might have been like maybe early 30s, late 20s at the time, and he's just chilling with a 13-year-old. Like it's not fucking weird.
Yeah, no, it was really fucking weird. I think that's when like the Drake pedophile shit started like really hitting mainstream media. It was like that and the Billie Eilish thing where she was like, "I'm turning 18 tomorrow," and he commented under the post, "Can't wait."
Ugh, God.
Actually abhorrent.
And I think what's so weird about it is that especially with that in particular, that kind of makes it seem like it's almost, haha, I know, so funny thing. I'm like, dude, like people are really starting to believe this. You need to like, who is his publicist? Because they need to yank that leash, dude.
Dude, for fucking
Ugh.
real.
Oh my god, it's horrible. There's also I see it. They noticed that in 2018, Drake was dating an 18-year-old model named Bella Harris. Um, Which,
Huh.
yeah, that one's rough. It's not necessarily illegal, but it kinda makes you wonder, like, how long had that been going on? Like, was there some stuff before she turned 18 that was kinda that would be considered grooming in the same way that, like, we thought that he was, basically grooming Millie Bobby Brown to, establish that relationship with her beforehand. I was reading a little bit more about this, so, yeah, so it's possible that the first interpretation for, we hate the bitches you fuck because they confuse themselves with real women. It could be referring to Drake's weird relationship with minors, or at least like rather young women. Or the second interpretation is that it could be referring to how Drake seems to also just pursue relationships with porn stars and Instagram models, which Kendrick resents as archetypes for women. For example, on Humble, I'm so fucking sick and tired of the Photoshop. Show me something natural like Afro on Richard Pryor. Show me something natural like ass with some stretch marks. Uh, Still, I take you down right on your mama couch in polo socks. That was not part of it, but oh man, it's such a good track. I love it. But now that I'm looking back through it, I do want to say that that's probably not good either.
I
Um,
mean, it's oh my god.
Because well, the way I see it, the issue with the first one is that because they confuse themselves with real women, but the whole issue with like pedophilia and with like dudes that groom young women is that they're the ones that are entirely in the wrong. Like these young girls, they literally, the thing is that they do not have the mental capacity to understand that this is wrong. Like it is much more wrong for the adults that are involved in it to just, be allowing it. You know what I mean? So like I don't think that I would necessarily consider it Millie or any other young girl's fault for like being into Drake when he is clearly significantly older than them. It is a matter of the fact that he feeds into that sort of thing, and that's really where the issue lies. And also, I don't know if I necessarily appreciate that in the second interpretation where maybe he's just talking about porn stars and Instagram models. Man, let them do their thing. We support sex workers.
I mean, we do, but because it's an active choice, but I feel like the big thing with that, and this is my interpretation through Kendrick's like viewpoint, right? Is there's something inherently wrong with the system that which of course, if you're taking advantage of the system to be able to earn your check, by all means, respect where it's due.
Fuck yeah.
But it's also a system that you're perpetuating that inherently objectifies women. You
Yeah.
know, like you are not a human being, but you are um, something that can be meshed into what I want you to be, either physically or otherwise. Like plastic surgery, all that shit.
Mhm.
Kind of like how some Instagram models do, or I can buy you and use you type of thing.
Mhm.
Like, get your bag, take advantage of the system, but there's something inherently wrong with that system being there in the first place.
Yeah, no, I see your point there. I think that yeah, feel free to take advantage of the system, but yes, it's a problem that it's a system in the first place. I guess is what you're getting at.
Yeah, exactly, verbatim. Yeah, because I mean, like, we could get like into that, like, day in and day out and talk about that type of thing. I mean, it's not really. I feel like it's not really our place
No,
to
it's
have any commentary on that type of thing.
no, purely outside perspective. But I was just like, no, that's but like only because it seemed I interpreted the line as like being a little derogatory towards like the women that he was potentially referring to, and I'm like, well, it's not necessarily their fault as much as it is Drake's. But yeah, that's the main focus of this.
Yeah, and I
Um,
feel like that line alludes to the fact that it's Drake's fault for taking advantage of that system to get, with women instead of just, doing it
is yeah
naturally.
to get his dick wet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the second verse that I felt like was pretty huge was how many more black features till you finally feel that you're black enough, which it's apparent that Drake has had like insecurities about himself being biracial, you know? But it almost feels like he's trying to get into the game and act like someone he's not. Like, be a part of a harder culture that he doesn't necessarily need to be a part of.
Mm,
Based off of like the vibe of his music, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. Sorry, I'm reading the breakdown uh on that verse there.
But like really it looks like looking at that like breakdown, it says that like, he's not doing it for the sake of the culture more so than he's doing it to quell his own insecurities.
Mm. Yeah, I see that. The I love this one. The Drake cosign is a frequently discussed phenomenon wherein Drake will feature on a relatively unknown artist's track, catapulting them into into the limelight because you know uh, it almost makes it seem like even though it's their song, they're riding his coattails. Um, and these artists are also usually black rappers with a rough upcoming in the streets. For example, Drake's features on Blockboy JB's 2018 track "Look Alive," which I ain't gonna lie, it slapped. I like that song. It wasn't bad. Um, and Migos' hit Versace remix, which I haven't listened to that one. I've listened to plenty of Migos, but I'd never heard Drake on one of them.
I gotta say, this one song is eating a lot of time, so I feel like it'll be good to push forward a little bit on this timeline. But the rest of the song, we should do a couple episodes breaking down each song. It would be fun. But
Yeah, I would enjoy that.
uh, a lot of the song also makes references to him using AI and ghostwriters to be able to make his songs, as well as alluding to the fact that he's from Toronto, not the West Coast, and not from Atlanta. Um, yeah, pretty much to say he has a bunch of dirt.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I mean, there's references almost at every single turn. I like that. There's one last one. I mean, we don't even have to play it, but I thought this one was kind of funny. Um, there's a partner that goes, "Don't speak on the family Crody. It can get deep in the family Crody. Talk about me and my family Crody. Someone gonna bleed in your family Crody." And that is a reference to Drake mentioning Whitney Alford, who is Kendrick's life partner on push-ups. And when Kendrick is using the slang term Crody, there has numerous layers to it. The first one being mentioned um, is that Crody is a crypt derivation of the term Brody. So replacing the B with the C, which is popularized by Toronto rapper Pressa. Um, and it's become widely used in Toronto. And Drake has used it in multiple songs. Um, let's see here. And it also mentions Kendrick grew up in Compton, California, where the city where the cryptids were found and are strongest. His use of the word is to perhaps an attempt to reclaim it, given how the Crips and gang culture has impacted his life more than Drake's, whose usage of the term could be construed as disrespectful, disingenuous, or something that he's often accused of, which is cultural appropriation. So he's like, this isn't really, this isn't your thing. Um, and this one's just kind of funny. Drake also named his cat Crody,
Oh my lord.
which is kind of funny, and is given a colloquial term for a cat. Given that colloquial term for a cat is a pussy cat, Kendrick is using Crody's name as a substitute for the insult pussy. Ah,
Oh my lord.
and
That's a lot. That's like a quintuple entendre.
yeah, that's a lot going on there. And Kendrick also he uses a Torontoian. I just made that up. A Toronto accent for this quatrain, which is
Creating.
kind of funny. Odd. I love that. So, um, that was kind of the breakdown on Euphoria, released April 30th, 2024, in response to Tailor Made Freestyle and Push Ups by Drake. And then about 4 days later, Kendrick also drops 616 in LA, um, which is making fun of Drake's penchant for using times and locations in his song titles. Uh, oh, good lord. It was notably produced by Jack Antonoff, which feels like an acknowledgement of Drake's repeated Taylor Swift references. Which I'm assuming that means that I think that Jack Antonoff is the one who produces Taylor Swift as well as a couple of other big names.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely does.
Let's see here. One thing that I want to point out is that there's also a lot of symbolism that has gone into these, not just in the words, but then also in the images that are used um, with these releases. Like I'm seeing a post on Instagram from Kendrick Lamar's page where he announces the release of 616 in LA, and there's just a picture of a black leather glove, no sequins in sight. Mm,
Oh man. Let me
which,
tell you, apparently the name of the track too is according to one theory, a septuple entendre. Because 616 refers to um 616 being the Father's Day in Canada, 616 being Tupac's birthday, multiple relevant Bible verses with 616, Drake's timestamp series, like how you were saying, right? Um, Euphoria, which dropped on 616, the show. Um, the O.J. Simpson murder trial started on 616, and O.J. Simpson allegedly murdered his wife at 616 in L.A.
oh God, it's kind of
Yeah.
isn't that kind of weird how numbers work like that?
Yeah, it's incredibly weird.
Yeah, but hey, it makes for interesting content for lame ass podcasters to talk about.
Dude, I'm saying baller ass podcasters more like.
Yeah, I love that. So my guess is that the picture is a reference to "Tootsie Slide" by Drake, which starts out with black leather gloves, no sequins, buckles on the jacket. That's a leak shit. Nike crossbody got a piece in it. Ugh. Yeah, I forgot. And this is the right foot up, left foot slide thing.
Oh my god. I fucking hated that song.
This one also has a lot of oh man, this one also has a lot of references about him being hard as fuck, even though he's not. Um, let's see here. What is it? So I pulled up the mentions for that one. Do you know if we're able to play that one as well?
Um, let's see. Okay, yeah.
Nice, excellent.
What are you thinking so far? I actually haven't heard this track.
No, I haven't listened to this one either. This is one of those ones where it feels like there's going to be a lot of subliminal like subject sort of matter in it.
That's
Um,
fair.
so far, I don't know. I think there's a couple the references to Virgil Abloh, who I have no idea who that is. I really have no idea, but it says uh Off White is the name of a luxury fashion house founded by Virgil. Oh, they also passed away. Damn. Um, hmm. Sunseeker could be a reference to Icarus, who flew too close to the sun on wings made of wax. Um, oh, Sunseeker is also a model of a yacht. I don't really know if there's anything super imperative here. We should probably head on down the line here.
Yeah, which speaking of that, May 3rd, 2024, Drake released Family Matters, which not only takes shots at Kendrick, but Abel, Metro, Rick Ross, and ASAP. ASAP Rocky, which it's important to denote that because we're not going to show it like up here, right? Um in the music video for Family Matters, Drake acquires a van that looks very similar to the van that was used on the album cover of Good Kid Mad City and puts it into a crusher.
Oh yeah, I see that. That's ow. I just bit the inside of my mouth. Ow. Um, yeah, that's a thumbnail on the YouTube video. Yikes! It's a nearly 8 minute track. Imagine 8 minutes of Drake.
Dude, and it's weak sauce.
That's
Um
the thing is that
it's
sorry, I just wanted to say nobody's talking about the like nobody cares about what Drake fired back with.
Yeah, no. And I mean, like, you listen to it and you're like, okay, he might be cooking something, right? Like, and then you listen to what Kendrick did after the fact, which was 57 minutes after the drop of Family Matters. Meet the Grams.
Hmm.
And he murdered Drake then and there.
You know what's funny? I think this is the problem with us using different sources. It says that 616 LA was dropped on May 3rd, and that Family Matters was dropped on May 3rd, and then it says Meet the Grams was dropped on May 4th.
Well, I mean, it was dropped on May 4th, but it was dropped 57 minutes after
Hmm.
Family Matters was dropped.
He had that just waiting, like it was already loaded up in the cannon, and he was like, "Oh, word, okay, have this."
Mm-hmm. And this was a huge one, right? Because like, um, if you look at the cover for it, right?
Oh yeah,
It
that one went real deep.
it did because it showed receipts for the chains that Drake bought. It shows his Ozempic prescription. It shows another medication. I can't remember the name of it, but apparently, like medication that's often associated with being used to roofie people, and a couple other things. Just a ton of receipts. And the way that he got that picture was he apparently had an insider, right? He had
Oh
an
yeah,
insider with OVO, who was feeding him this information, which is worth mentioning. Very recently, that insider came out and dropped video receipts that this stuff was not planted for them to find. This was stuff that this person found within Drake's home.
my God.
And this person not only has, like, their own personal receipts, but security camera footage in Drake's home as well.
That's crazy. I almost feel weird about that one.
It's kind of nuts. It's kind of crazy.
It
Like,
it is a little bit to drop the security footage of it.
I don't think they dropped the security footage more than just like a screen cap of the security footage. Nothing implied other than I have receipts.
Okay, just like yeah, dude. I've got all the proof that I need that like this is legit. Like this is not it's not fake evidence. It's not fake news. Um,
It's
uh,
nuts, dude. Like
pretty
it's
golly.
just there to prove, right, that like Kendrick wasn't lying. And this song, right, Meet the Grams, was huge because he first writes to Adonis, right? And is like, I'm sorry this man is your father. And then he says to Drake's mother, I'm sorry that your son is like this. Then he says to Drake's father, I blame you for the way he's turned out, has a gambling addiction and shit like that. And then he says to the world, you have an 11-year-old daughter that you have not told anyone about publicly. You've kept hidden from the world.
Yeah, the addressing each individual family member is absolutely insane. I mean, the third line is or I guess technically the fourth line is I look at your basically saying I look at your dad and wish your grandpa would wear a condom. Oh, do you want to listen to it?
Oh, sorry, I accidentally hit some shit. But
Okay.
yeah, let's pull up. Let's give it just like let's run it a little bit because like it's brutal.
Yeah, the first part is enough.
Dear Adonis, I'm sorry that man is your father, let me be honest. It takes a man to be a man, your dad is not responsive. I look at him and wish your grandpa would have wore a condom. I'm sorry that you gotta grow up and then stand behind them. Life is hard, I know. The challenges always go beat us home. Sometimes our parents make mistakes that affect us until we grown. And you're a good kid that need good leadership. Let me be your mentor, since your daddy don't teach you shit. Never let a man piss on your leg, son. Either you die right there or pop that man in the head, son. Never fall in the escort business, that's bad religion. Please remember, you could be a bitch even if you got bitches. Never code switch, whether right or wrong. You're a black man, even if it don't benefit your goals. Do some push-ups, get some discipline. Don't cut them corners like your daddy did. Fuck what Ozempic did. Don't pay to play with them Brazilians. Get a gym membership. Understand, no throwing rocks and hiding hands, that's law. Don't be ashamed about who you with, that's how he treat your moms. Don't have a kid to hide again, be sure. 5% will comprehend, but 95 is lost. Be proud of who you are. Your strength come from within. Lot of superstars, that's real, but your daddy ain't one of them. And you nothing like him. You'll carry yourself as king. Can't understand me right now. Just play this when you 18.
God damn.
Man, there's I don't even know where to start with that one. Like, obviously, like the beginning part is that I'm sorry this is your dad, but real shit, I wish he had never been born. That's wild. Um, to start up like that, and also I'm sorry that you got to grow up and then stand behind him, which I believe is kind of it's kind of saying like I'm sorry that you're gonna be tied to this dude who like high key just kind of sucks.
It also alludes to the fact that for the longest time, he did hide Adonis from the world,
Right.
which, ties in where he was like, don't have a kid to hide him than to have a kid to hide him. Like type shit.
Yeah, that's a lot. Also, the pissing on your leg is funny. I'm sorry. It's funny because I was just on my phone with the parents yesterday for Mother's Day, and they said something about they went to the beach and there were jellyfish everywhere, and I was like, oh, did anybody have to piss on someone? I didn't say piss, but you know what I mean. Like, it's kind of funny we're coming back to this. Um, and the analyzation for that is Kendrick is playing a father figure to Adonis and giving him life lesson about death before dishonor. In the either you die right there or pop that man in the head. It also alludes to the story of Drake being urinated on in 2010 by T.I.'s inebriated friend Cap during a movie premiere in Los Angeles for T.I.'s movie Takers. Meek Mill had also thrown in on that in Wanna Know, released in 2015, saying, "You let Tip's friend piss on you in a movie theater. We ain't forget." And Sauce Walka also mentioned this 2 months after that. What kind of man let another man pee on him? You kiss Madonna after everybody peed on her. Ooh.
Ooh.
And, and then Ti in 2020 was like, yeah, that happened. He confirmed it in a song. So Drunk in LA ended up pissing on Drake. And he apparently didn't do anything about it. Which is tying back to the line, it takes a man to be a man, your dad is not responsive. Ugh.
It's heavy, dude. And the fact that only that verse just drops like, your dad is on Ozempic, he fucks with Brazilian prostitutes.
Mm.
It's just so much shit. And it's the third verse where he's like talking about the girl that he's hiding. Calls him a deadbeat.
That's not good. I wanted to also I wanted to look at the never code switch whether right or wrong you're a black man. And which is interesting because I recently talked to somebody about code switching as well, and like what the difference between code switching and masking is, which is a very it's a I'm not sure how to say this properly without I'm probably going to say it wrong, but it's a very like autistic sort of mannerism to do this. Code switching is the practice of alternating between two or more languages or variety of language in conversation. Okay, that is different. I'm not sure if that's exactly. Well, I mean, I don't know. That's probably correct, but let's see here. For example, saying tough or speaking tough with black friends, but speaking clearly verbose and politely with white friends.
Yeah, no, I could see that. Like he's saying, stick with your culture. This is your culture, type shit. Don't let your dad get it twisted, type shit.
Yeah.
Don't let his insecurities dribble down.
There's a lot going on, and after after don't cut them corners like your daddy did. Fuck what Ozempic did. Don't pay to play with them Brazilians. Get a gym membership, which is once again alluding back to the BBL Drizzy thing. Which I'm sorry that I harp on that one so much, but
BBL Drizzy,
it's so funny.
It is. Oh man.
Oh god, I love it.
But moving forward off Meet the Grams, right? Which trying to keep this within frame. May 5th, 13 hours after he dropped Meet the Grams, he dropped Not Like Us. Which is pretty much a whole diss track dedicated to calling Drake and the people he associates with pedophiles. And the cover of the album is a picture of Drake's house with registered sex offender icons on it. Which is nuts. And, he leans into the pedophile allegations pretty hard in this song, but he also leans into the fact that Drake is a part of the rap game. He's trying to colonize the rap game. Again, going back to that cultural appropriation type of thing. Which here, we have to play that first verse.
Yeah, I do want to hear that one.
Psst, I see dead people. Aye, monster on the beat, ho, Debo, any rap nigga, he a free throw, man down, call like Amber Lambs, tell him breathe, bro, Nella nigga to the cross, he walk around like Tizo. What's up with these jabroni ass niggas trying to see Compton? The industry can hate me, fuck them all and they mama. How many options you really got? I mean, it's too many options. I'm finna pass on this body, I'm John Stockton. Beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that up to score with him. Walk him down whole time, I know he got some hoe in him. Pole on him, extort shit, bully the flow on him. Say Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any bitch that talk to him and they in love, just Just make sure you hide your little sister from him. They tell me Chubb's the only one that get your hand-me-downs. And party at the party playing with his nose now. And Baca got a weird case, why is he around? Certified lover boys, certified pedophiles. Wop, 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 wop. That fuck him up. Wop, 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 wop. I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like a bitch, ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor.
Like, dude.
That wasn't even slick or like alluding to anything. That was just straight up like you and your boys like little girls.
It really fucking was.
Hide your little sister from him. Good God. I'm not even exactly sure who these other people are that he's talking about. So there's some more extrapolation on that through Genius. Once again, can't thank you enough for this. So Chubbs is a key member of Drake's OVO. While he is supposedly OVO's head of security, he is notorious for acting lazy and smoking large amounts of marijuana. That's crazy, man. Imagine smoking large amounts of marijuana. He's thought of as a leech, and within the context of the of that line, get your hand-me-downs. Chubbs is the one Drake is giving family like charity to, whereas he only has other likely sexual interests in the younger family members of the women that he sleeps with, rather than being interested in helping or nurturing them. Ugh.
And holy shit, he's not the only one. Second verse, and party at the party playing with his nose now. It mocks the drug use, specifically cocaine, of OVO singer and songwriter Party Next Door, who was arrested in 2017 for trying to cross the US-Canadian border in possession of Xanax and Oxys.
Ooh, good lord.
But the hard one is the next line, right? And Baca got a weird case. Why is he around? Who was referred to as Baca Not Nice. His name is Travis Savory. I'm assuming I'm mispronouncing that. But he was a former security guard of OVO Sound. And in 2014, he got arrested and charged with forcing a 22-year-old woman into prostitution and taking her money. His trafficking case was dismissed after she refused to testify and instead convicted of assaulting her. That's fucking wild.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, that's a lot.
Trafficking.
And man. Yikes. That's a lot.
And the certified pedophile one ties that line, of course, we know what it ties to, everything that we talked about when we were talking about Euphoria. And on top of that, there in 2010, there was a video circulating of when 23-year-old Drake started kissing a 17-year-old at one of his concerts. And then he said, I can't go to jail yet, man. You 17? Why you look like that? You thick? Look at all of this. I don't know if I should feel guilty or not, but I had fun. I like the way your breasts feel against my chest.
That is so wild. I saw that video too. That was, oh God, it had ick all over it. Like, after you find out that she's underage, you're like, but damn, she's thick though. Bro, that's weird.
It's fucked. It's actually fucked. And then going down the track, he talks about how he disrespected Tupac and was like, yeah, no. He says, you think the Bay gonna let you disrespect Pac? Redacted. I think that Oakland show gonna be your last stop. Redacted. Alluding to if he shows up in the West Coast, he's probably gonna get gunned down or something like that, because he disrespected Tupac by using AI vocals.
Yeah, that was like that was so left field. I don't think that anyone was ready for that. But I think there's a reason that nobody's ever done that before.
For real.
And not even like, even aside, the fact that it was Tupac and everything, like, it just seems kind of disrespectful to the dead, right?
It's incredibly disrespectful to the dead.
Yeah, it's kind of like putting words in their mouth.
100%. And then the next line says, "Did Cole foul? I don't know why he's still pretending." Um, saying that he did J. Cole dirty by bringing him to the song "First Person Shooter." You know, because
Mm.
he tried to bring J. Cole into it, and Cole backed out, and he's recognizing like this is on Drake for doing this. Because like J. Cole apologized and was like, "I don't want beef."
Yeah. Hmm.
But there's
And
one. Sorry.
like, well, well, I was gonna say so. I'm on the analytic of that line, and in Family Matters, Drake also says, and redacted, Cole losing sleep on this. It ain't me. It's like, so what? You. Of course, we can't really understand the full intricacies of it, but to to bring J Cole on this track and be like, yo, we're gonna diss Kendrick, and then for all that to happen, and then he's like, man, I don't know what he's so worried about. Like, because Kendrick could eviscerate both of you, and well, I mean, he really kind of did now. It's more so directed at Drake than anything, but J Cole almost seems like it kind of seems like an innocent bystander, relative to everything else that's going on.
Oh yeah, 100%. He ended up being an innocent bystander. It's absolutely insane. I'm here real quick. Let me see if I can pull like this one verse in the song, find it in the seeking, like track seeking. Okay, so I just for reference, I had that like muted, me searching for that on my recording side, but this is the part where he calls Drake a colonizer, and it looking at it, it's verse 3 on Genius, right? So just
Yeah.
listen to this shit, dude. It's fucking wild.
Once upon a time, all of us was in chains. Homie still double down, calling us some slaves. Atlanta was the mecca, building railroads and trains. Bear with me for a second, let me put y'all on game. The settlers was using town folk to make them richer. Fast forward 2024, you got the same agenda. You run to Atlanta when you need a check balance. Let me break it down for you, this the real nigga challenge. You caught Future when you didn't see the club. Hey, what, little baby, help you get your lingo up. What, 21, get your false street cred. Thug makes you feel like you a slime in your head. Hey, what, Quavo said you can be from Northside. What, 2 Chainz say you good, but he lied. You run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. No, you not a colleague, you a fucking colonizer.
God, dude.
Man, he laid out everybody. Good lord.
He did. He laid out everyone with that one verse and was like, "Yeah, they all made you think you were like something that you're not, and you go to Atlanta and make a few bucks. You're not a fucking part of this culture. You're not a part of this rap culture. You're a colonizer."
Yeah. Good God. Man, and this one really hits that hits for a lot of people that are from Atlanta, like people who grew up like probably seeing these rappers come up. Like most of these guys, they were pretty popular by the time that I got here. Um but I enjoy most of them, and we had that thing with Lil Baby, and well, I got some things about YSL. But anyway, um what was it? I didn't know about the whole Future thing, but Lil Baby Kendrick suggests that Drake collaborated and spent time with Lil Baby just to step his game up, and that his usage of slang isn't authentic. This is a doubling down on sentiments expressed in previous diss tracks, like in Euphoria, where Kendrick argues that Drake has built a gangster persona just to appear black enough. Mm.
It's crazy because it breaks down his insecurities. It breaks down his like mentality with the music that he makes, and it breaks down like how he really is to like this type of culture. Which, if you think of a rapper out of the gate, you don't think of Drake.
Mm-mm. Not really.
Like it's wild.
Hmm. Yeah,
The
and
way he does it relative to like, sorry, but the way he does it like relative to, the culture of Atlanta, like the history of Atlanta is
yeah,
insane.
absolutely. So he's like, "Yeah, I hang out here. I'm one of you guys, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking at at the 21 breakdown as well, and 21 Savage is like a let's see here. What was the he's considered a bona fide gangster rapper amongst listeners. Um, and implying that Drake is only hanging out with him to make it seem like he is also a bona fide gangster, which he's really not. Ugh, God, there's this picture of them standing together, and
The duality of it's insane.
yeah, the duality. It's like light and darkness, and yin and yang right there.
You can
And
tell which one has like legitimate like gang affiliations and street cred.
yeah, exactly. Ugh. And I mean, it's not even to say that you need those things, but yeah, it kind of comes back to the whole like, he's very insecure about his biraciality, if that's a word. Um, that he feels the need to like and just be so extra about it rather than being real about it.
Oh yeah, it's insane. But to lead off of this, right, we could go in depth about the song for a minute because of how hard it goes into Drake. I do want to put our last topic on the episode to, I think, the thing you've been most excited about.
Mm,
BBL Drizzy.
yeah, yeah, yes, I do. I want to talk about BBL Drizzy so badly. So, I mean, well, we've kind of already hit it a little bit here and there, um, throughout these songs with the references and whatnot. Um, but man, if you're, like I said, if you're on TikTok or anything like that, you have definitely heard BBL Drizzy, and it's an absolute banger.
BBL Drizzy.
It really is.
BBL Drizzy.
So,
Oh.
I'm reading this article on Gizmodo, and this was published Saturday, this past Saturday at 7:30 a.m. Um, the track holds the number one spot on SoundCloud's new and hot chart with roughly 3.3 million listens. Oh my god!
The thing that catches me
Wow.
with it, right? Because Drake, in one of his tracks, I think it was Family Matters, he's like, Metro, go make some beats. And he did. And he made it available for all SoundCloud rappers to use, like without any sort of like legal liability or monetary liability. So no copyrights, nothing. People are just free to use it. And the amount of like, tracks and like diss tracks that dropped about Drake that got pretty decent amount of views in the last like, week or so is absolutely absurd. Like people are just hating on Drake now. It's incredible. And Metro gave him the means to do so.
Hmm. And the history of this song is crazy. So I'm not super familiar with well, let me just start from the top. So it started with a relatively unknown artist, King Wallonius, released BBL Drizzy in mid-April, delivering a soulful melody that's evocative of the 1970s. His chorus and name touch on a popular meme that's come up a lot in the rap beef that Drake received of Brazilian butt lift, and I believe that came with. I believe he had also gotten lipo on his like abdominal area to like pull the fat out of there, and he was like, you know what, just put it in my ass.
Oh my god. Of course.
But so the song alone itself is great, but really blew up when Metro Boomin released his version of the song. On May 5th, he posted on X that anyone who writes the best verse on BBL Drizzy would get a free beat from the award-winning producer. And he later updated the contest to also award that person $10,000, which set off a storm of diss tracks being created over the beat, all with the hashtag BBL Drizzy Beat Giveaway. Oh my God, there's Bollywood versions, there's guitar versions. Some people have rapped over it. Actually, before we started recording, I found a video of what's his name? Is it Tim? Is it Tim Henson? the guitarist from Polyphia, which is a pretty solid instrumental band. I like them. Yeah, Tim Henson. It looked like he'd been doing a couple of covers, but yeah, he did a little cover of BBL Drizzy. Man, I would love to hear the Bollywood version, but that's great.
Oh,
Uh,
100%. Bollywood version is insane.
I'd love to see if anyone's made a country version yet.
Ah!
Maybe Beyonce will do it. Oh, we can only
Holy
hope.
shit. Oh, that's
Uh,
fucking beautiful.
Jesus.
But
Well,
this beef has been insane.
it really is. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of things to uncover. Um, a lot of stuff being brought to light, and whether it is for entertainment or not, man, it's good. Like maybe I feel some sort of way about it because I am on the side of Kendrick in that like Drake's always been a little fucking strange. Um, in the way that moves and the way that he moves and the way that he operates, but um so like a lot of this stuff is just not necessarily like confirming suspicions. Because like I said, I've never been the type to like analyze it that far and like keep up with all these different things. Like this verse was a reference to this person's song, 87 years ago. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. It's like I'm not even that surprised.
Yeah, no, me either. I mean, I've always been a Drake hater. You know that, dude. I mean, whenever we used to work together in Atlanta, I'd be like, dude, I fucking hate this Drake music so much.
Yeah, because it was like 85% of the playlist that we were given.
Oh yeah, and I mean, hearing it, 24/7, like for 40-hour work weeks, it's painful enough as it stands, but like, having it being music I already like inherently disliked, I was like, dude, I want to blow my fucking brains out. What the fuck is this Drake bullshit?
Ew. Yeah. And so we may have an inherent bias to it, but it would be nice to see that. Of course, I'm always happy for Kendrick to get more exposure because I just like his music the way that he runs it in general. Um, so hopefully, this is it's convincing people to be like, oh, I wonder what else he's got. I mean, not that he's not big as it is, of course he is, but to take away from Drake's like fame and sort of like a false reputation, always down for that.
Oh, 100%. Like, I'm glad that he's being exposed for certain things, whether or not true. Just the fact that he's being like ousted for, taking advantage of the culture of the rap game and, you know, people saying that he doesn't deserve to be where he's at because of that.
Mm.
It's a beautiful thing to like watch. He to like say this, he moved out of the US, sold all 3 of his mansions, and is moving out of the United States. I feel like that's self like incrimination
Yeah,
to at least some aspect of all of this.
yeah, it's a little convenient. It means that something here is working for
It's
real.
beautiful. He needs to stay out of the US. He will not only be in like actual physical danger if he stays because of this whole thing, but he will likely get convicted of something if this continues. And I'm waiting for when Drake drops more shit. Not Drake. Kendrick drops
No.
more shit. Because like if Kendrick drops, he's got like apparently like a whole magazine of shit, like a loaded gun of sorts for this type of thing.
Hey,
And
that's a double entendre.
and like to top it all off, dude, fucking it was all recorded in one session, apparently.
Yeah,
So,
that's
fuck.
wild to me.
Apparently, Euphoria was a 19-minute track.
And they're like, man, maybe we should cut some of this down.
Dude, for real. Like, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like the death of Drake. And, you fucked around and you found out, Drake. Congratulations. You could have still been like, cool with it and maybe, kept being on top, at least numbers wise, you know? but you had to go and play with fire.
Yeah,
Like this guy.
he essentially got burned. You know, he kind of poked the bear on that, and man, he's really paying the price now.
It's beautiful to watch. It's so nice.
Yeah, we love it.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
I think that we've been going for a pretty solid amount of time here. I think I'd say it's about time to put this to rest for the time being. You know, we hit a lot of the big points. I think you know, at least as far as things have gotten to, you know, we went down our timeline and everything. And I had a lot of fun going through this.
Oh yeah, me too. I had a ton of fun going through this. And I mean, of course, we couldn't get as in depth as we wanted to. It would have been a whole like thing, right? Like this would have been hours long, but we're getting there. We're getting there. And that's the big thing with it. It's kind of crazy.
It is wild. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Mag's
no.
distracting me. Anyway, but yeah, that's all the time that we're gonna have for this episode. Y'all feel free to you know, if this is an interesting subject to you, you know, read up on some stuff online. Also, jam the tracks because they are fantastic. But you know, definitely let us know if this was fun and entertaining for y'all, and if you'd like to see some more of this content. You know, you can screw it. I'm just gonna say it. You can tweet at us at KATD Podcast on X/Twitter. It's still twitter.com, by the way. Whenever you put it into a search engine, it's twitter.com/KATD Podcast. And you can tweet at us. You can follow us for updates about the show. Um, you will hopefully very soon, if not today, be able to watch this on YouTube as well. There's not any difference in the content. It's just that you get to look at our faces when we talk about this if you want, and see my wife playing Baldur's Gate 3 behind me. Um, but yeah, let us know if you want to see more of this kind of stuff. Hopefully this will be dropping on time. We'll be back on schedule, and you guys can get that weekly content that we love.
Oh
And
yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to have this be back on schedule. Um, but yeah,
technical difficulties aside,
oh yeah, 100%. That was rough. That was a rough little week for me trying to get that episode figured out because that was supposed to be our first video episode. Files got corrupted. It was just a whole thing.
yeah. So we kind of talked it up in that one, being that we recorded it before we found all that stuff out. So hopefully this time around it won't be the same thing, where we end up getting screwed and we're still exclusive on Spotify. So here's hoping for us being on YouTube. Here's hoping that you know all the pedophiles and all the weird people that are famous for some reason get what's coming to them. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait to. It's gonna be huge whenever that happens.
It's gonna be big,
It's gonna be huge.
huge. But anyway, um, so I guess Aiden, unless you have anything else you'd like to add, I'm gonna go ahead and close us out here. Thank everybody so much for listening to this. We love and appreciate you. And well, shit, podcast out.